Hi, I'm Bob Weir with another interview of issues that affect public health and safety. My guest today is Sergeant James Poulis of the Flower Mound Police Department's Criminal Investigation Division. Thank you for being here, Sergeant Poulis.
No problem.
We keep hearing about huge amounts of drugs coming across the border from Mexico. What are some of the deadliest illegal drugs we should be aware of, and how do we recognize them?
So some of the things we're still seeing is methamphetamines coming across the border, heroin, cocaine, and fentanyl. Cocaine, fentanyl, there's going to be a white powdery substance. Your methamphetamine is more of a crystalline substance, and then heroin is generally tan or brown, but still in powder form. That's the easiest way to recognize it.
All right, has the drug problem in schools gotten worse in the last few years?
I wouldn't say it's gotten worse. We're doing a good job about keeping everybody educated in the schools. We have SROs at every school now that are keeping tabs on the kids, making sure they're all aware of the dangers of them. So I wouldn't say it's gotten any worse.
What do you think is the predominant illegal drug being used, for instance, in the area, Flower Mound and its environs?
So I'll tell you, Flower Mound, we still see THC. So you have marijuana, which is the plant form of it.
Yeah.
What they're doing now is they're extracting the oils out of it, and that's the THC is the psychoactive product in the marijuana. So it's more concentrated in that oil, and you're seeing them use the vape pens. Is the main way we're finding it now. Yeah, the THC vape pens.
Right. Do you think so you don't think drug usage is on the rise in Flower Mound, for example?
I wouldn't say so.
No, okay. What are the signs of drug abuse that parents should be aware of?
A lot of this comes down to just being in contact with your kid, communicating with them. You know your kid better than I know your kid. If you start to see changes in behavior, if you start to feel like you're seeing them be totally out of it, they don't want to do any of their extracurricular activities. Just the main thing is finding out, hey, something's not right with them. I probably need to sit them down and talk to them, and then see what's going on.
Yeah, changes in mood, for example.
Right, their mood, their activity, if they just want to sit around all day, those types of things.
If a parent does suspect that their child is using drugs, what should they do?
So we in Flower Mound, we have plenty of programs for that. We have an In the Know program that if we suspect a juvenile of using any type of drug, we try to educate the parents as much as possible on whatever drug that is. There's several others. Winning the Fight is another program that we affiliate ourselves with. They do a great job about finding kids that are, hey, this guy's going down the wrong path. We need to educate them, try to pull them out of that environment, that situation, and get them back on track.
We hear a lot about the deadly nature of the drug fentanyl. Recently in San Diego, a sheriff's deputy was rendered unconscious when he opened a car trunk and supposedly handled fentanyl. Is fentanyl dangerous if touched or stiff?
So the most dangerous form you're going to find fentanyl is going to be the powder form. If that powder does end up getting dispersed into the air and you were to inhale it, you're looking at a problem. I think in that specific situation, they went back and looked at it, and what they determined was because in the academy, as first responders, we're very much warned about the dangers of fentanyl. It was probably more of an anxiety thing, hearing the word fentanyl, being right there around it, and then just his body just goes into safe mode.
Yeah, right.
It's more of a panic attack thing than an overdose from the fentanyl.
Yeah, that video was very scary. I mean, most people would think then don't get near it, don't smell it, don't let it get on your skin. I mean, if there is a powder that can get on your skin from this, right? Would that be dangerous too?
I would say it's probably not a good thing. Anytime we're handling any type of powder, because we have no idea what it would be, we're always wearing gloves. We're sure to keep it away from our face so that if we can process it without actually opening the bag. There's some test kits now that uses like a little wipe, like cocaine just has a little wipe that turns colors. We'll try to keep ourselves a safe distance no matter what.
Yeah, you know, in the movies, so often you see the movies and they'll find a cache of drugs and the guy opens the bag.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he's doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah, long gone are those days. I don't know if
That guy
that
would
ever
be-
happened.
That's
Yeah.
where that guy would be down. All right, does the Flower Mound PD, specifically the Criminal Investigation Division, do you speak at gatherings in let's say, LASD, in the schools or in other places to tell about the dangers of drug abuse?
Yes, so we have several departments within the police department. We have a community services that does a lot of outreach programs. We have, like I was talking about earlier, we have school resource officers in all the schools. They'll do presentations at the schools. My unit, the priority response unit, we're typically over the narcotics activity going on. We've done presentations with some of the high schoolers. So yeah, we will absolutely speak at groups and educate the public as much as possible.
Yeah, I think the more education people have, the safer they'll be. How about, do police officers carry medical equipment in their cars to help those in the stage of overdose? I know you have
Yep.
something here.
So this is Narcan. This is the nasal spray. This is what every officer in Flower Mound carries within their car. Every detective has one of these. This works to, if someone is having an overdose on opioids, this plunger goes into one of the nostrils. You would squeeze the plunger and the Narcan would immediately knock that opioid off the opioid receptor in the brain, and you would see the person, if they're having an opioid overdose, come out of it pretty quick. Flower Mound Fire Department, our EMTs, they carry an actual injectable that is more of a needle that they'll actually put the substance into your body. This is not a cure-all. Anytime we use Narcan, the person has to be monitored because it's not going to last forever. So we have 2 doses, and sometimes you'll give 1 dose in one nostril and another dose in the other nostril. But at that point, our medics they're generally on scene by then. Their response times are pretty phenomenal.
And when would you administer this?
So this would be if we find a person who's unresponsive, they're unconscious, we've tried to wake them several different ways. If they're showing signs of very shallow breathing, very, very low pulse, or even to the point where they're having more agonal breathing, which means that they're in real trouble, that's when we're going to go ahead and administer this. Administering this, even if it isn't an opioid overdose, won't cause them any harm. So like you saw with the San Diego, the sheriff's deputy,
Right.
if that was a panic attack, they administered Narcan and it had no effect on him, right? He's fine still. So it's not like using this can have some sort of side effect if you're not having an opioid
Well, this
overdose.
is not over the counter though. You
So no, this is still generally something you have to have a prescription for, or they did a House bill a few years ago where it said if someone close to your family or whatever you know is an opioid user, they would allow a doctor to still write you some sort of order that would allow you to keep this in the house for that specific reason.
All right, so it's good to know that all officers carry this, and
Yes, sir.
and you guys in the Criminal Investigation Division, you carry it also?
Yes, my unit, like I said, we deal specifically with narcotics, so we all have at least one of these boxes in our car. I mean, can't hurt to have it on hand.
Yeah, do you have other equipment that, like medical type equipment also?
But that's more, yeah, we do, but that's more for trauma, things like that. If we have some sort of medical issue, generally we're still going to call the fire department.
All right, so, by the way, are motorists tested for drug use similar to testing for alcohol use?
So we have a set of parameters that NHTSA puts out that are our standard field sobriety tests.
Yeah.
You don't always see the same characteristics with narcotics that you'll see with alcohol. Some of them you will, if they're both depressants. Yeah. So you'll see some of those. So I can't say they're apples to apples. If you're on marijuana, they're not going to see the same effects that we'll see on alcohol.
Are there many arrests locally for marijuana use?
Yeah, we're still seeing marijuana. Like I was saying earlier, marijuana, THC products are still our primary drugs that we find here in Flower Mound.
A person arrested for a small amount of marijuana, is that a misdemeanor?
Yeah, so that's a Class B misdemeanor. Small amount, under 2 ounces.
Yeah.
2 ounces of marijuana is would be kind of a lot of marijuana, so.
Well, Sergeant Bulis, we're coming to the end here. It goes so fast. Is there anything you'd like to add before we close?
I would say, you know, here in Flower Mound, we don't see the direct effects of the narcotics as much as some other places. We see it a little bit. We work closely with the DEA, and the mission that the DEA has, you know, last year there were 90,000 overdose deaths. The DEA's mission as far as stopping the drugs coming into the United States, that to me is why we work so closely with them, because it's a hugely important aspect.
Well, I hope you get a chance to speak at a lot of places throughout the area, because this is vital information. Everybody should know about this. I mean, I don't care what the organization is. So I want to thank you, Sergeant Pulis, for the vital work you do, and for you and other law enforcement perform every day. Thank you so much for
Thanks,
coming
Bob.
here for this.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching.